responded, quote, I hear a lot of people saying it could have a star next to it. It's going to be the toughest championship you could ever win. I hear him. Shannon, do you agree here?
I do, because I don't believe the team will have won a championship under more difficult circumstances. Skip, you fight all these games. You play 82 games, and you try to do everything you possibly can to get home court advantage. You want the first game on your home court, whether it's the first round or the NBA championship. And if it were to go 7 games, you want that final game on your home court. And all of a sudden, there is no home court advantage. Skip, it's difficult because the thing is that when these guys travel, Skip, they like to do things. They like to go out, meet other friends. You know, they got friends in these cities. They like to go out, maybe have a cocktail or something and go just do things. Now, all of a sudden, Skip, there is no going out. There is no meeting up with friends. Once you're in, you're in. And I don't understand they call it a bubble, but it's kind of like prison, Skip, because, you know, in prison, you don't get to go out through campus either. So I know they have more amenities. You got a DJ, you got barbers, you got chefs, and you got the table, you got pools. Skip, you got all this stuff. You can go golfing and you can go trail riding. Skip, you got a lot of stuff you can do, but you just can't leave. Let that sink in for just a second, Skip. You got all these things, and a lot of these guys got these things in their own home anyway, Skip. But you know what, Skip Bayless? You got pots and pans. Jenny got pots and pans, but you go eat out. Yeah, the privilege is just to know I can leave when I want to, but you can't. And you got to stay focused. It's a grind, Skip, to know it's basically what it says, a marathon. No, it ain't a marathon anymore, because now the marathon is down to the last mile, and you got Kipchoge chasing you. Well, actually, we're Kipchoge. That's us. We're the runner, and you're chasing us. But you're right, yeah, Giannis. Your championship won't have an asterisk by it because you're not going to win. That's why it won't have an asterisk by it. You know who's going to have the championship? Us. We, Lakers, Laker Nation. And it won't have a championship by it. But it's going to be very difficult, Skip, because no one has ever had to win a championship under these circumstances. Think about all the people that, you know, Avery Bradley is opted out. We don't know it, Dwight Howard, because he has this very similar situation. He might opt out.
Lou Williams might. We still haven't heard.
So, Skip, there's a lot going on, Skip. We've never seen anything like this before. We've had strike-shortened seasons, but nothing like this. I agree with Giannis. This is going to be the most difficult championship to win, and it should not have an asterisk by it. But since he's not going to win it, he shouldn't worry about that.
Oh, whoa, are these poor NBA players. My heart bleeds for these poor NBA players. I can't believe what they're about to be pushed through, to this grinder that they're about to be. It's going to be excruciating. They are basically going to be put in prison for like 3 months.
It is.
Stop it. Would you just stop it?
Can't go nowhere.
I will give you this. The COVID threat is obviously real and obviously rising. I will give you that much. But obviously, the NBA will do everything in its huge and broad power to make it as safe as possible for these players.
Right.
So even though the threat is hanging over everybody, and there'll be different levels of paranoia for different players, that's a given for all of us out in society right now. That's just the way life is, not just in America, but basically everywhere.
And think about it, Skip. The virus popped back up. Why? Because people couldn't stay their butt home. So you imagine guys making $30, $40 million that's used to having access and being able to go whenever they want.
Now let me get to my point. The truth is, this will be by far the easiest championship ever there was to win, because I want you to think about what's about to happen.
What?
These players do not have to travel to a single game. There is no air travel. There are no coast-to-coast flights. There are no time zone changes. You get to stay. It's not your own bed, but it'll feel like your own bed after about 3 months, because you'll have everything set up in your own room. You're not exactly in solitary prison confinement. You're in the Walt Disney bubble in Orlando. You have gone to Disney World heaven. You've got the Disney staff who's as sharp and as smart and as on top of things as any staff in this country.
I want to leave.
Okay? Yeah, but they are going to wait on you 24 hours a day, hand and foot. Whatever your heart desires, you got it from this staff. It's 24-hour room service. And by the way, the bars are open. The restaurants are open within the bubble.
But I ain't going to the bars.
Okay. Why not?
Cause
well, you can go. You're fine. You're cleared. You got tested. You're clean.
I like to drink alone.
Okay. Well, that's fine. You just stay in your room anyway. I don't know what you're complaining about. So the point is, you do get to play golf if you choose. You can go fishing. They got lots of great bass ponds right there on the property. You can go fishing if you want to. You can play ping pong tournaments if you want to. And you can play every video game ever known to man. They probably have Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man somewhere. They got video games everywhere, and every guy's going to take like 17 video games to his room to play. Am I right about that?
Probably.
Okay, so for all these players, it's going to be like you're going to go back to the good old days of AAU basketball. When they were in AAU on travel teams, what would happen? They'd go to tournaments and be gone for a week. And what would they do? They would focus solely on playing basketball and hanging out. Because that's all there is to do, right?
But then you have to understand, you're dealing with somewhere between 13, I guess let's just say, from 10-year-olds all the way to 17, 18-year-olds. And then you'd have chaperones. Skip, these guys are used to having access and going wherever they want, whenever they want.
Okay, but think about the trade-off. Every game is going to require a 10-minute bus ride or whatever it is to the arena. 10 minutes, that's all you got. And when you're finished, you got 10 minutes back to your hotel and you're done. You don't have to run and catch a flight. You don't have to get in at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
You don't have to change time zones. It's simple. All you do, there are no distractions. I know a lot of family members will not be there, but it could be a good thing for you to clear your head and have no external distractions. This is all basketball all the time. Guys who live for the game of basketball, guys who live for the playoff run will be in basketball heaven. You couldn't ask for anything more.
I live for both. I live to play basketball and to be free. Skip, now you remember when we came back from the Super Bowl, we were very fortunate. We got an opportunity. They took care of us, put us on old big old honker, me, you, and Jenny. We came back. I had me a bed. I laid that kid. So when you do charter, Skip, they leave when you want to. So you talk about they rushing. This is not running through the airport, got to go through TSA security, or you got clear a global passage. You don't have to do that. You guess what? You get on the bus, they drive you through, and you walk right up the steps. So it wasn't a inconvenience about that, Skip. It's the inability to be able to do what I want when I want to. I want to have my car. Man, I just bought back. You see James Harden got a new Lambo. Bert. He can't drive that. Braun just got that new whip. It ain't even out there. He only got one of them. He can't drive that.
You can get your car in the bubble.
No, you
can
can't.
Drive it all over the property.
No.
You can do laps around the bass pond if you want to.
I want to go outside the bubble.
Okay.
I want to be...
No. Now, let me close my case with the biggest point of all. These players all just got 5 months off just ahead of the playoffs. In the history of this league, nobody's ever got even a week off before the playoffs, because let's talk about the GOAT. Let's talk about MJ, shall we?
Yeah.
9 times in his career, he played all 82 games. Twice he played 80-plus, so that makes it 11 80-plus years, right? Okay, so how many times did he even get 2 days off before the playoffs started? Never! His last 3 years, the last three-peat, leading up to the last dance in 98, he played all 82 all 3 times, and it was just like, boom, here we go. And in those days, they played a lot of back-to-backs in the playoffs, and it was hard. You might even have to fly and play the next day in the rival city. All of a sudden, you get 5 months off, and your body is fresh. It healed. All these guys, they're not going to feel the aches and pains that you take into the playoffs.
Let me ask you a question. How many people, let's just say, we take anything, we'll say for the Olympics, or we take any other sport. Name the team, name the sport. You take 5 months off, and then you go play your championship. Other than Daytona. Daytona is the only thing that you do that, where they take time off, and then the first big race back is the Daytona, which is the biggest race, and they go do it. Do they do that in football? Do they take the whole summer? Do they take, okay, you finish up in February if you win the Super Bowl, and then you take all that time off and say, you know what, July, that's not how they do it. That's not how they do it in
I know
baseball.
a lot of players that love to be able to do that before the playoffs started. After all, you're beat all to hell. You know this better than anybody. Yes. And they get beat all to hell, too, if you play 82 games. All of a sudden, everybody is injured to some degree. And now nobody is injured to some degree.
Well, a lot of it, Skip, is about attrition. It's about being able to withstand that mentally. Now you got another mental challenge, is that we're going to be confined here for up to 3 months.
Oh, spare me.
No,
it's not that bad.
Yeah, it is that bad.
With that kind of luxury that you're living in the lap of luxury, it'll be okay. And if you come and tell me, as LeBron often has told everybody, playoffs are all that matter, well then that's it. This is all that you could ever hope for. You get to focus 1,000% on winning a championship.
It doesn't mean that it's not a grind. That man's going to be away from his family. Okay. The man got married for a reason. The man had kids for a reason. He didn't get married to go dump them off on Savannah and say, well, Savannah, I'm gone. I'll be back in 3 months. That ain't what he did.
Every time I look up, LeBron's in Las Vegas or LeBron's over here. Yeah, he is.
Don't worry about us.
I don't know.
Why you following him? You don't need to worry about all that.
I can't help it.
All I'm saying is, Skip, is that it's going to be a grind. You know it's going to be a grind because it's unfamiliar. All the things that you mentioned about playing a game, then getting on a flight and flying to another city, they've been doing that 10, if they've been in the league, say, since they've been in the league. So 5, 10, LeBron has been in there 17 years. UD is 40 years of age. So he's been doing it for an extremely long period of time. That's what you get used to. You're acclimated to that. And now this is we don't know. They've never seen anything like this. So how do we prepare, Skip? At least somebody's been on the championship team and says, okay, this is the way we've done it. Or you call somebody. Who can you call and says, how do we navigate this? What's the person you can call?
You know what? You could figure this one out.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's pretty easy to figure out. And I'm sorry, Giannis, but this one's going to have a big old asterisk beside it.
Giannis.
Because everybody got to heal up.